What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 must-start and 3 must-sit running backs here in Week 12 of the fantasy football season. Oh, and we're also doing a giveaway over in my Discord, so make sure you stick around for more information on that. There's only a few days left to enter, but without wasting any more time, let's hop right into the video and let's talk about the guys that I like first. Now, the first player whose matchup I really like this week is going to be David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions, and he gets to play against the Green Bay Packers. I currently have him inside of my top 10. That is going to make him a low-end running back 1 for your fantasy football rosters this week. And 2 games back from injury, it is very clear that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs can coexist in this offense. We now have 2 straight finishes where David Montgomery finished within the top 15 running backs and scored 17 fantasy points in both of those games. And it is still very clear that David Montgomery is still the goal line back on this offense. This matchup this week against the Green Bay Packers is a good matchup for David Montgomery. The Packers are currently ranked 22nd in the NFL against fantasy football running backs, and they're giving up 20.8 fantasy football points per game to the position. Now, the second running back that I like this week is going to be Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans, and he gets to play against the Carolina Panthers this week. I currently have him inside of my top 15 running backs, making him a high-end running back 2 for your fantasy football rosters. Now, for those of you that roster Derrick Henry, I know it's been a very disappointing past couple of weeks. Both of these weeks, he's finished as the running back 49 and the running back 39, so he's not doing what Derrick Henry usually does for your fantasy football rosters. But the Titans are at home in this game. They are projected to win, which does mean we are expecting them to lean on the run game if they get up in this matchup. So to me, that means that they're going to focus on getting Derrick Henry involved. And the good news is this matchup against the Carolina Panthers, they are currently ranked 31st in the NFL against the fantasy football running back position. So they've been giving up a lot of fantasy football points to those running backs, currently allowing 26.5 points per game to the position. And now the third running back that I like this week is going to be Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots, and he plays on the road against the New York Giants in this matchup. I currently have him as a top 20 play at the position, which is going to make him a mid-range running back 2 on your fantasy football rosters. And Stevenson's coming off of a week here in week 10 where he actually hurt his back. He did get a bye week in week 11 to let that rest a little bit. It seems like he's going to play this week, but that week 10 matchup that I just talked about, that was his largest workload of the season. He saw 25 total touches in that game against the Indianapolis Colts and finished as a top 20 running back on the week. And really, in this matchup, I expect more of the same from Ramondre Stevenson. The New York Giants project to be a good matchup for him this week. They are currently ranked 26th against the fantasy football running back position and are giving up 21.8 fantasy points per game to those backs. What's good, guys? I just had to take a second to let you guys know that I am giving away 3 NFL Legends jerseys over in my Discord. Just make sure you hit the link in the description to go over there and enter this giveaway. But we are giving away a Ricky Williams jersey, a Chad Ochocinco jersey, and a Michael Vick jersey. The only thing you have to do is be a member of that Discord. If you want to show us some love, you want to show us some support over here on the channel, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. But the only thing you need to do is go enter that Discord and you can win yourself one of these jerseys that we are giving away on Thanksgiving Day. But now that we've talked about the guys that I like, let's talk about some of the guys that I don't like. And we're going to be starting with Brian Robinson Jr. for the Washington Commanders. I currently have him outside of my top 25 running backs this week in his matchup on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. And Brian Robinson has been really good for your fantasy football teams this year, especially the last couple weeks. He's had 2 weeks in a row now where he's finished as a top 10 running back. But in this matchup on Thanksgiving Day, while you guys are hanging out with your families, unfortunately, Brian Robinson will be playing against the Dallas Cowboys defense, who currently is the 6th toughest matchup against running backs so far this year, only allowing 15.2 fantasy points per game to the position. And if that wasn't bad enough, the spread is at 11 points in this game, obviously the Commanders being the underdogs in this matchup. So it is definitely not out of the range of possibilities that the Commanders have to abandon the run early on in this game due to having to play some catch-up football. But when it's all said and done, I think a touchdown is going to make or break Brian Robinson's day here this week. And that's just not something that I'm willing to gamble on against this defense. Now, the second player whose matchup I don't like this week is going to be James Cook of the Buffalo Bills, and he plays on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I have him outside of my top 25 running backs this week. I'm valuing him as a high-end running back 3 for your fantasy football rosters, similar to how I would view Brian Robinson. But the good news about James Cook is last week we did see the usage become a little bit better. We know that they had an offensive coordinator change over there in Buffalo, and because of that, we did see a little bit more James Cook. The unfortunate news is that there still is no goal line role for James Cook. There probably never will be a goal line role for James Cook. And in a very competitive game against the Eagles, this matchup does not project to be a very good one for running backs. The Philadelphia Eagles are currently the hardest matchup in football for fantasy football running backs, and they are only allowing 11.6 fantasy points per game to the position. And now the third and final player that I dislike this week is going to be A.J. Dillon for the Green Bay Packers, and he gets to play on the road against the Detroit Lions here in this matchup. I have him outside of my top 25 running backs on the week. He is a mid-range running back 3 for me in your lineups this week. And we talked about AJ Dillon earlier in the week. We said that he was a priority pickup for you on your waiver wires because he is going to be filling in for an injured Aaron Jones. And while that still stands true, I do think that there are going to be better days for AJ Dillon on the horizon. This matchup just is not one of them. Additionally, last week, AJ Dillon was very inefficient when filling in for Aaron Jones on short notice. He only generated 29 yards on 14 carries. And unfortunately for AJ Dillon, he possesses very little receiving upside in this offense. Now on the ground, this matchup doesn't project to be a good one for AJ Dillon. The Detroit Lions are currently the 5th toughest matchup for fantasy football running backs, and they're only allowing 14.7 fantasy points per game to the position. Now that is all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and hit that like button. It is the best free way to show our channel some support, and it does help us by pushing our videos to wider audiences so we can help more people and give them more fantasy football advice. And also, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a new video when it does come out. And last but not least, make sure you are a member of that free Discord. Like I said, it's free to join, and make sure you go enter that giveaway because we are giving away those jerseys on Friday of this week. And more importantly than all of that, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, spend some time with your family, eat some good food, and travel safely. But with all of that being said, I will see you guys on our next video. But until then, peace out.